Our AD podcast today, February 3rd, is talking all things Princeton Vikings with AD Joe Roberts. Coach, how are we doing on this almost balmy Monday morning?
It's almost balmy, although Poxitani said we got 6 more weeks, Rob. So, hey, I'm all for it. I really, truly am. Let's extend it out a little bit. Let's try to get some seasons. But yesterday and this morning so far, and what they're saying this afternoon, just gives you that taste. Spring is a coming.
I laughed at Graders. They put a pint of their new cherry chip ice cream out, and they
Yes.
said there was no shadow. So I'll go
Yeah,
with Graders.
I will too. I'll follow Graders League. Of course, I've never found a bad flavor at Graders, Rob, but
Have you
cherry
tried?
chips
Have
got
you
to be in the
tried the new
top five.
Skyline? Have you
No,
tried?
in fact, no. And I've asked several people, every time I've tried to go, which is not very often, every day, if you will. No, I uh, I haven't been able to get it. So
The two friends of mine that have had it said it tastes like pumpkin pie with oyster crackers, and I
well,
like
how can you?
pumpkin pie.
And I like oyster crackers. So
There
how
you
can you
go.
go wrong?
All right, let's rock and roll. Let's start with the girls' day. Let's go ladies first
Yeah,
and talk girls basketball. Boy, nice season right now at 13-3, getting ready for tournament time on February 19th. But they've got two this week to wrap up the regular season. Two GMC, one on Wednesday, on the road on Saturday. Let's talk girls basketball.
yeah. The Lady Vikings, they really are playing real well. This coming Wednesday, East here is critical, and I'm going to say why it's critical because that moves us up to a tie for second
Okay.
in the league. Hats off to Mason for another incredible season for them. But when you look at how the seeds played out yesterday, we need a confidence win moving into the 19th. And we need to utilize our time Saturday at Fairfield to rest our kids, keep our kids in rotation, but because Fairfield, what do they've got? They've got nothing to lose kind of
Right.
mentality at the end, right? So they're going to give you an unbelievable game, especially over there. And it's going to probably most likely be their senior night. We had our senior night this past weekend with Oak Hills. And then you look at our records in the GMC. And Rob, I will say this, like those records, that's just shows you how tough our league
No
is,
question.
you know, and you've got some highs and lows, but it doesn't matter. The top team versus the bottom team in our league, it just keeps on producing just tough competition. So we need to really set the tone Wednesday so that we can get ready. Never look ahead, but we've got to take care of business Wednesday. We've got to take care of business on Saturday, and then on the 19th, we've got to be mentally ready to go because we're going to see Middletown again in the sectional tournament start or district semis. I'm sorry, because
Yes,
the new
they
format
changed that around. Right.
district semis. But where we fell in the draw, I mean, Coach Davis and her staff should be really, really happy with that. And it should really give us a nice little run here as we close out February. I know today's the 3rd, but we're going to go ahead and say February's behind us. We're already looking into March.
Yep. It's and how do you think Coach likes Lakota East playing there? Is that for the tournament? Is that I don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but is that a good location for the team?
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're familiar, right? It gives you a
Yeah.
familiar space. It gives you, you get kind of used to systems, if you will. And then so they get used to the locker room format. They get used to the floor setup. They get used to the seating, and so things become kind of simplified for you, if you will. And so plus at the end of the day, I know it's still neutral siting, but you've got Middletown come down, Princeton go up. I mean, that's going to be a nice little crowd there, a good
Yeah, I
environment,
think
I
so
think.
too. Yeah, and that's
So,
yeah. Good luck to them.
yep.
Finish this week strong, and get ready for Middletown. Let's go over to the boys' side. Another great season. They're on a roll as well. Good Lord, what are they on about? 7 straight W's. It looks like.
7 or 8, yeah,
Yep.
7 or 8, Rob. And hats off to once again a great Friday. This past Friday night was a great high school basketball game.
Yep.
Us and West. It was a great high school basketball game. Defensively, it was great, and offensively, I mean, we saw some results out of some of our kids that just wow. Um, and Coach Wyant's been battling injuries with the team, but that's what happens um, each and every year. But we're going to have Middletown here Tuesday night,
Yes.
and then and we're going to try to really set that bar and do something that he's not been able to do, and that's seal it off and grab that GMC title, and that'll be really exciting. And then obviously leading into the draw, I mean, we'll have Coach Price will bring his team here Friday night, and that'll be a game that will be very critical for us because voting is still out. It doesn't close until Saturday at noon.
Oh, okay.
And so he'll need, we've got to take care of what's in front of us with Middletown and Oak Hills. The blessing for us in this format is the two games leading into the seed meeting are at home.
Yes.
We'll go to a very, very difficult Lexington team on Saturday night, Saturday afternoon, which won't come into play in the vote. But we get two good home games leading up. And then next week to close out the season with Fairfield and East. I mean, that's just not, that's not for the faint of heart. But
Nope.
once again, here we go. And we're going to be right back in it. And you're going to watch, I think, when the results come out on Sunday, you're going to see that the GMC is carrying the lion's share of some of those top votes. It'll be us in the GCL, obviously, but you're going to see that there will not be an easy path for boys basketball to get out of districts.
No question.
And it's going to be exciting to watch.
Is Saturday's game, isn't that your old stomping grounds?
It's my old stomping grounds. Yes, sir, it is. Yep. My alma mater. Yep.
Very nice. That's fun. And that'll be very fun.
Looking forward to getting up there. Lexington's playing really good Lexington has traditionally, I mean, that's one of their big monikers is basketball. They won 2 state titles in my years growing up, and Coach Scott Hamilton up there has done a great job with this group that he's got. He's got a really strong young class again, and they're a tough Division II team for us. And so it'll be good for us to get on the road, get out a little bit, kind of break up the monotony as we get into the next week. But it was a good timing of the year.
That's a fun Saturday trip. That'll be great.
Fun Saturday trip for them.
Yep, fantastic. Well, good luck to both boys and girls basketball as the regular season winds down. Let's go to the smaller hardwood. Let's talk bowling, Coach.
Well, it's been a great year. It's been an up and down year for both the boys and the girls. I can tell you, Coach Wilson and Coach Simons have seen some highs and some lows with what they're doing in the bowling, but both boys and both girls will roll at Roll House Lanes for the sectional tournament. They had their seed meeting yesterday.
Okay.
And we're now going to be really focusing on, yes, we have some conference matches left, and we've got a really good conference clash coming up a week from this Saturday, which will be fun for the kids to get into. But again, just another great opportunity. But we're really going to be looking and targeting how we can get a kid out of sectional and into district. So, I would like to be able to say that our bowling program is a young program, but it is junior heavy right now on the boys' side.
Okay.
We're going to have to really do some hard looking on what happens after that to get them up, if you will.
Yes.
And get those numbers back. The girls, they've got a little bit more on the sophomore end, so there's some promise and some growth there. We have a couple of young freshmen that I think that if they stick with it, we'll see some good results at the end. So looking forward to this week. We got 2 matches Thursday, Friday this week. One with those Wyoming Cowboys on Friday. So looking forward to sneaking over to Gilmore Lanes. Got Colerain on Thursday at Northwest Lanes, and then Wyoming back at Gilmore on Friday. So looking forward to sneaking over to Gilmore and catching that.
Joe,
match.
do you ever see the GMC middle school / junior high school starting a bowling program to help numbers and grow that sport?
We've actually talked about it, bringing in middle school bowling. And I don't know if as a league, the league would do it, but I think here at Princeton, we certainly would do it. Our friends at Gilmore Lanes have been very open about letting younger kids. I mean, it's the only way you're going to grow the sport. It's like golf. If you don't give them a chance to play it, they're never going to do it. And so we've talked about doing a youth league, especially in the spring.
Sure.
The challenge is, bowling alleys are profit centers, just like golf courses. Well, when a middle school doesn't get out till 3:30, if you will, and so just for all intents and purposes, you don't get a bus till 3:45, and you got to get to Gilmore, and we all know what 275 and Route 4 can be like.
Sure.
Let's just say you pull in at 4:15. You have to be out of there because they've got league starting by 5:15. So By the
Makes it
time
tough.
it's, it makes it real tough. And then so what we're looking at is, okay, because they're wide open on Saturdays, right? They want you there Saturday mornings. Can you create a pathway for them to be able to get there on a Saturday morning and have a Saturday league? Now, the
Sure.
other side to it is, a bowling alley would say, bring them here all day long in the summer once that league season ends in bowling. And so we're just going to try to look at some different things. I know our coaches have talked a lot about that. We actually kicked it around for a couple of years, and we'll just see where it takes us.
Gotcha. I know that the youth leagues in boys volleyball helped grow that sport.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I asked. I just
yeah.
thought it's such a great new sport for the OHSA. I just was thinking of other ideas to help it. Okay. Good luck to them as we get tournament play with bowling. Let's go to AQT. That season's winding down. Championship coming up here in a couple weeks. Let's let the fans know how that's going.
Yeah, it is. And we've got Hamilton here tonight for senior night, and we're super excited about that, or senior afternoon, if you will. And so the grid will be moving and shaking. Coach Mulholland has really done an outstanding job of keeping everybody in the mix, and the questions keep getting tougher and tougher, if you ask me. So I'm going to look forward to getting over there today and recognizing our senior AQTers and just kind of really celebrate what we're doing.
Right.
That record we have right now, we're at the bottom of the league, and that record doesn't necessarily transcend. Again, doesn't always transcend into the results. It's just, are you quick recall enough, or are you quicker than the next team? And so, looking forward to kind of trying to get after Hamilton a little bit. They're sitting at second in the conference right now. So can we top them? Right? Can
Got
we
it.
can we knock them out? And I will say hats off to them, because Hamilton has all the questions. They're the ones that bring the questions, and they're in this sealed, contained envelope. So we know that no one knows those questions ahead of time. We do know that, but we're really looking forward to have Hamilton bring the questions over today so that we can get after a little bit and recognize our seniors.
Joe, where do the questions come? Do they come from Trivial Pursuit, or where do those? Where do the,
That's a great question. I'm going to have to find out, because there is an agency that does it. I do know that. And I know that academic quiz, what we do, is different than quiz bowl,
okay?
because the state of Ohio also has quiz. We host a quiz bowl tournament here, or we did last year, and I'm hoping we can do it again. And our kids participated in it last year, and it's different.
Interesting.
And and I'll say it, St. X is like, they're quiz bowl savants,
Yeah.
but it's different than AQT. So I'm not sure if they come from Jeopardy or not, but I do know this: the more you watch Jeopardy, the better you are.
Amen. Heard that. That's what Chris Newton said last week. So
Yeah,
I'll go with what he said. Well, good luck
yeah.
to them. That's great. Let's go jump in the pool. Let's talk swimming and diving as let's see, GMC championships just wrapped up, and I think it's sectional time. So the tapering is on.
The tapering is on. Actually, I ran into Coach Reese, our assistant swim coach, yesterday, to see how things went over at Mason on Saturday. And her and Coach Mickey Alvis they were so excited about how we looked in the water,
Great.
and saw some great times. And the times keep dropping for Princeton. The question is, will our times drop far enough to catch the times that are in front of us? And
Sure.
so when you look at our breaststroke or our backstroke swimmers, can we move them in this week as we set the stage for Friday night for boys here at Princeton? We host the D1 and D2 sectional, and then Saturday morning for the girls, D1, D2 sectional. And so they're familiar with the pool,
Right.
obviously. They're familiar with their lanes. They know the times they need to get. And so this week's going to be very focused on the tapering aspect of it and getting us moving on that, because we're not going to be able to move an entire team. We know that. But can we get 2 or 3 out of sectionals and into districts? That will show where we
Progress.
are, and progress. And even if it's just a matter of moving just a couple of kids to improve their times, you're going to see that progress happen. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's exciting. Good luck to them, and thanks to all the people on your staff that support and host all that stuff, because it takes an army to run those tournaments. So
Does it ever?
thanks to them, and good luck, everyone, boys and girls, on that. Let's go to the mat. Let's talk boys and girls wrestling. Let's see. I think we're starting to wind down, getting close to well, we got a few weeks before sectionals, but in
Yeah.
2 weeks we've got GMC tournament Middletown, and let's talk wrestling.
Yeah, hats off to Coach Powell. And I do want to say, and I'll say it to him again if I haven't said it enough. But Coach Powell's done a great job for Princeton, and he's a loyal Viking, and he's having a job change, and so he won't be coming back next
Oh
year.
boy,
He can't give that time, but he's done an amazing job of teaching
and growing.
and growing the wrestling program. And I
Yes.
will tell you that 2020 hurt our program tremendously, and when it came to numbers, and
Mhm.
he's done an amazing job of bringing it back. And I'm just so thankful that I've had an opportunity to work alongside him and watch his passion for his alma mater. It's been a treat. And then when you look on the GMC site and you look at, and yes, it's boys and girls combined, but every single weight class, Rob,
Yes.
there is a Princeton Viking in the top 20. Every single weight class in the league, there's a Princeton Viking, whether it's one of our girls or one of our boys, or even a combination of both. And
And you and
so
I both know that doesn't happen overnight.
that does not happen overnight. And so what that's telling me too is we're filling weight classes.
Great.
Yes, a kid may get injured or a kid may miss, he may not have his hydration, right, or what have you at a match. We may have to scratch somewhere here and there. However, when I know that as we get ready for next week's senior night in the auditorium, in Matthews Auditorium, the big stage match that we have,
Hmm.
we're going to have 14 weight classes filled, and I'm excited about that. Had a chance to talk to one of our girls wrestlers this past Friday, just a little bit about what they've done in the sport of wrestling. Girls wrestling is one of those emerging sports that has
Yes.
just, like you just said, skyrocketed. And we brought girls wrestling in, I believe it was actually 2 years ago. Girls have always wrestled. It's just they used to just wrestle boys.
Hmm.
But then we got into a situation. We had some girls that were interested in it. Now we kept them with the boys
Okay.
in terms of you're going to practice at the same time. And last year you went to the same matches and they just put them into some play when they had to. And then we found a couple all girl tournaments that we jumped in. This year, it's still been practicing with the boys, but we've been sending the girls to girls tournaments, girls dual matches, girls clashes. They call them clashes, if you will, and getting them into that field. And it's really started to transcend. Next year, because of what they've done and stuck it out, next season, we're going to separate the boys and the girls.
Oh, wow.
And it's going to be a full-fledged, full-ran girls program, boys program. Now, we only have one wrestling room, but we're going to work through the ins and outs of how we're going to get everybody to practice. But really, because of what that team has done the last 2 years, these girls that have stayed together, we're going to move them into where it is going to be its own girls program. And you're going to start to see an influx of girls come out for wrestling. I do believe that. And so we're really excited about where that can be as we move down the road. And then a lot of our students that are in these top 20s across the board, they're juniors and under. So the future is very bright for
Program is
Princeton wrestling.
building.
Got to
Yes.
get some numbers, got to keep growing. And I was at one of our middle school matches 2 weeks ago. We've got kids that know how to wrestle. So we're really excited about what's going to happen here with Viking wrestling in the future.
So exciting. That's great. Well, good luck to them as they get ready for tournament time. We'll wrap up this week's show, Joe, with talking about competitive cheer. I know they've got a big trip ahead you wanted to talk about.
Yeah, I do. I want to say how proud we are of our cheerleaders. Coach Landon Zellers came in here, and as soon as he got here and took over the program, he was honest about wanting to start a competitive team, a competition team. And, we've always been sort of a competitive team in terms of we've participated in the GMC cheer competition,
Okay.
but we've never really been a true competition team. And so we purchased a new floor for him to compete on, and he built and developed a competition squad separate from the sideline squad.
Sure.
And they've competed. and they qualified for nationals, which they will leave this coming Thursday, the 6th, and travel to Orlando, Florida. And they'll compete down at Walt Disney World on Friday for a national championship, if you will, in game day experience. And so I am super excited. They had a little showcase last night, a little send off for them here at the school last evening, and made their performance. And wow, they've grown so much from the time that we saw them at the GMC competition to now. They have earned this spot and they've earned this opportunity. And our Viking cheerleaders do just such a great job of representing Princeton City Schools every single time we need them. They're at parades, they're at kickoffs, they're at ribbon cutting ceremonies, they're on our sidelines, they cheer from the stands, and they just, every one of our students that are on our cheer program, they have so much spirit and pride for Princeton, and it's really exciting to see. And I just want to wish them the best of luck as they head to Florida.
Oh, it's so
Wish I was
exciting.
going. I
Yeah.
wish I was going. Why can't I go to Disney World,
Yeah.
Rob? But Mickey doesn't need to see me, I guess.
Not this year. Coach, thank you. Well, good luck to the girls on their trip down to Florida, and hope they bring back some hardware on game day. So
Absolutely.
we'll touch base next week. Good luck to all the Viking teams this week. Have a great week, Joe. It's getting warmer. I think we're getting close, and
Yeah.
I'll touch base with you next week.
Thanks, Rob. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a good day.
Yep, you too.